Hey guys, and welcome to Igloo. Today we are going to be covering something that I think should be done more so. I mean, a lot of people have been making rant videos about like how the game is fixed. I've talked to them before, and I've invited them into like my discords to talk about them with their discussions. And pretty much overall, it's like fix your game. And there should be a couple of videos linked down of people that go in depth for this, but I want to be able to make a video that says that what can be improved. So there's something called whenever you place a foundation or a fence or a wall, that it goes completely to 100% health. Now there's already something already tied in with the thrall system. So when you place a
I
thrall,
see.
they don't really gain
Very cool.
their health immediately. They're not like 3,000 health already because they're from the volcano. No, they start off with 1 health and they regen. So I'm applying something like maybe as soon as you place something, it'll act like that Thrall or Fortnite where it starts off with 1 health. And it would take anywhere from 5 to maybe 10 minutes, maybe longer, depending on how it's configured. I'm not particularly sure, but it makes sure so that people can't just Fortnite their bases, so that you actually have to do repairing and using a repair hammer. Now, that also leads me to my second subject, which is actually using the repair hammer. Taking 2 swings that completely instant heal a vault is completely ludicrous. And what it needs to be done is that it would need to take maybe about 100 swings. Maybe it might take as many swings as a wooden hammer to break to fix a vault. As well as, we're not even going into fixing the vault in particular. We're just asking about fixing in general because it's just needed more so than anything, especially when it comes to building, base defense, and everything else. Not including for what you're trying to actually do. Kind of like on how you have the purge mechanic, where the purge mechanic, it actually disables you from building. So there should be like something like on some modded servers in Rust, like as soon as you have building damage onto your building because of a explosive or a raid device, you become building blocked. So it would prevent a certain kind of conundrum from happening to your base. There's a couple other things that could be thrown out as suggestions, but I don't know exactly how it would entail. That's just my best suggestions for the building system and structure, is that if you place something down, it doesn't start off with 100,000 health if it's a T3 foundation or something of those lines. Now there's also other things that have really been nitpicking my spiel, especially because they keep nerfing,
never had someone
buffing,
fight me
nerfing,
with gas
buffing,
before,
nerfing,
so it's
buffing the
interesting.
spear. So the spear is pretty much the only like big tie benefactor when it comes to PvP, player versus player combat. So after the whole mechanics changed, they actually added a reach function for a lot of the combo. And then at the same time, the last hit does bleed and cripple. But yes, there are ways to get around this. You can shield buff somebody, but at the same time, the iframe travel for a one-handed battle axe or a sword is too long because most people are going to be in either a light or medium build combo and they'll just slide out of the way. So it doesn't really benefit the person unless you have a reach to reach that said person with a balanced build spec of
You nearly
40
had me.
strength, 40 vits, 10 agility, 20 grits, and 20 encumbrance. If you want to be able to be putting more points in strength, you can, but after the rebalance of some things and the war paints only lasting 30 minutes, again, because they don't put any of their nerfs or buffs inside of their patch notes in particular, which this does annoy me, so we all have to figure out while playing in-game for everything that is happening. So, when you're going to be tying all this in, it adds up because that means every 30 minutes you have to spend for dragon powder and you have to make the tattoo and you have to get everything else. Honestly, I don't think that that's the right
Yay.
decision, but that's the
Nice
decision
one.
that they are willing to make because now if you're a PvE person and you're an encumbrance build and you have to have the tattoo to make your farming more prevalent, that's 1 dragon powder for every 30 minutes. That is way too expensive for most people that are just even farming. Honestly, again, that's my personal opinion, where I don't think that would be right for the tattoo. For the elixirs and everything else, great that they have a timer for. That means they have that difference of advantage. Well, most people are going to just get drunk because of the Crimson Lotus powder at this current moment. The Crimson Lotus powder gets you drunk. Apparently, it's an oversight of their natural regard. Now, if you're wondering why there hasn't been that many nodes or anything, that's because the majority of the team of Funcom hasn't been working in the month of July because they have been all together conglomerately on vacation, because if there was a member of their staff or another member of their staff that was a crucial member and they couldn't fix something, that means their whole project would have to be delayed. So instead of just adding and adding and adding, they chose to all have a vacation at once, which again I think is a good thing, because if you are not able to contact that one crucial member, especially if you have a small team like Funcom does, then you will be able to suffer because of it. Now, all the time I've bashed them in different ways, but I say it with a constructive criticism, because I want to see something as a sign of improvement in order to elevate the game. Just like we all want to always have improved netcode, because that's probably one of our biggest things, and to have more people with less rubber banding. Just like for what's been happening right now, if you go to pretty much any kind of tiger alpha or white tiger, it could actually crash the server, which it's not supposed to be a value thing. Again, it might be another oversight, but why did it not crash the server before? I don't have that answer exactly for you guys, but I know that it's one of the reasons why people have been having crashes for the servers, as well as somebody in the last recent weeks has been doing DDoS to almost the top Conan servers, hurting the fidelity of some privates and official servers. So if you're wondering why your server crashed and you're on the top Conan battle metrics, well, you know why now. There's also other things that could be improved, because other things that are like concept limbo items, like the explosive arrows, the tar arrows, the healing arrows, you also have corruption arrows and a few other things. They haven't really been worked into yet, because again, Funcom is on vacation. They don't know how to properly balance it. I specified in a earlier video that I had is that thralls have unlimited resources whenever they're given something. So let's say, for example, you have a bow. That bow will have unlimited shots on that thrall without having any durability effect from that weapon. Of course, they already have mechanics for those things to deteriorate if on your player model, but it's different if it's on something different like a thrall, because it's considered a building placeable. That means the durability is affected. Now, the reason why thralls are considered a building placeable was because of PvE conflict servers, that they were actually being slaughtered by people from all their thralls, and then they would get purged before the purge got bugged again. So that's why they turned them into a building placeable. So if you notice why the thralls aren't really active, that's because damage would have to be turned on for them to be active to fight against other players. If you guys kind of like this kind of stuff and this kind of like real truth talk scenario kind of stuff, leave a like and leave a comment down below of your personal gripes right now and what you can honestly say in the comments section to actually improve the game. We all have our gripes and our glitches about this game in one way, shape, or form, but I mean positive criticism and saying something that could actually benefit, like Foundation slowly regenerating health so that they don't Fortnite spam it immediately. So if somebody's raiding you, that it will pretty much be in ill effect because they can hit it once with a swing so that it can stop the health. It wouldn't prevent griefing, but at the same time, it'd be preventing large clans that just being able to go behind 100k walls almost instantly. Same thing with vaults being able to be dropped. I hope you guys like this stuff and have a good one.